Clinical biochemistry deals with the clinics of the disease. Like you can say that in the diagnosis and the treatment of the disease. More concisely, the diagnosis of the disease. It helps the physician to diagnose patient easily and appropriately. Like nowadays, there are a lot of the tests, chemical tests that are available, and that help in the diagnosis. Whenever there is any disorder that is suspected to be due to the any kind of the chemical, most of the doctor order a complete blood count. Or if you become more specific to the chemical analysis, a urine analysis is asked, or CSF proteins levels are checked. Basically, all of these things are indicators of the disease condition, like the level of the urea in the urine, like the level of the sodium ions, carbohydrates ion, the level of the proteins in the urine. In the normal condition, there is a specific level of these agents in the urine, in the blood. But whenever there is a disease condition, the level can be high or low accordingly. So by checking the level of these chemical agents, the doctor can identify the disease easily. And all of these things are able because of the recent advancement in the clinical biochemistry. Now, the clinical biochemistry is basically, it has two aspects. The first one is the methodology, and the second one is the interpretive. Methodology means that the whole process of the testing, taking the sample and then analyzing the sample, running it into the different instruments, and using different instruments, carrying out the chemical reactions, assays, all of these things comes in the methodology. And then there is the interpretive. At the end of the test, a report is formed, and that report consists of the level of these hormones, the level of the chemicals, like the level of the urea in the urine. So this is basically the interpretive aspect of the clinical biochemistry. In the clinics, physicians mostly deal with this interpretive aspect of the clinical biochemistry. So this is important for the physician to know, not the methodology. So what are the normal level of these hormones or chemical inside the body, and when the level of these hormone or chemical is high or low, what can be the possible condition? So this interpretive kind of clinical biochemistry is important to learn for the medical students. Then the diagnostic tests, nowadays various diagnostic tests are available. Like there can be, as I told you, there can be the urinalysis, there can be the blood chemistry analysis, there can be the CSF testing, and various other testing, HCV tests, and the liver enzyme test. All of these testing procedures are invented to help in the diagnosis, and there is no limit. There are so much work, there is so much advancement in the field of the clinical biochemistry. Like there is the introduction of the biomarkers and various other techniques that are basically facilitating the physician in diagnosis and making the diagnosis and the treatment easier. So that was all about the introduction to the biochemistry. Concluding or summarizing everything, biochemistry is the branch of the science that deals with the chemical substances and the different chemical processes that are taking place in the living body. That lies somewhere between the biology and the chemistry. And how it is linked to the medicine? It is linked to the medicine as it is helpful in determining the chemical processes that is taking place inside the body, to know the normal physiology, pathology of the patient, to make the new drugs, to make the diagnosis easier, and to cure the patient. So this was all about the introduction of the biochemistry. Thanks for watching sqadia.com.